Here's something nobody tells you when you're agonizing over your query letter for the 14th time. Literary agents make a decision about your book in 60 seconds or less. Not the final decision, not the irrevocable, your manuscript goes in the trash decision, but the critical first one. Does it get a second look, or does it get a very polite form rejection? 60 seconds, sometimes less. And before you spiral, this isn't because agents are heartless people who don't care about your 4 years of work. It's because the math of their job is genuinely brutal. And once you understand that, you'll write a completely different query letter. So let's talk about what actually happens in those 60 seconds. The average literary agent receives typically between 200 and 500 query letters every single week. Not a month, a week. That's on top of the manuscripts they're already editing, the deals they're negotiating, the client calls they're taking, and the submissions they're tracking to publishers. Reading queries is not their full-time job. It's part of their job. And the big part of their job is selling books. So when they sit down with their query inbox, they are moving through with focused efficiency. They have to. They're looking for the thing that makes them stop, the hook, the concept, the opening line that reaches in and grabs them by the lapels.
Oh, that's amazing.
Everything else, no matter how competent, no matter how clearly the writer worked hard, gets a respectful pass. This is why your query letter, specifically your opening line, matters more than almost any other thing you will write about your book. It's not a formality. It's the audition. In those first 60 seconds, a good agent is running through a mental checklist, not consciously, necessarily. After a few thousand queries, this just becomes instinct, right? But the questions are always the same. First, is this a book I can sell right now? Not is this well written, not is this writer talented. Can I pick up the phone, call a major editor at a publishing house, and pitch this in 2 sentences and have them ask to see it? Does it fit the market as it currently exists? Second, do I understand what this book is actually about? I know it sounds simple, but it is shockingly rarely satisfied. If an agent reads your query letter and cannot clearly articulate what kind of a book this is and who reads it, that's not their failure. That's a clarity problem in the query letter. And third, is there something here I haven't seen before? Something I haven't seen done? Something that is done in a new way that just rocks me. Agents are not looking for the completely unprecedented. They are looking for the specific, the surprising, the thing that makes a familiar form feel alive again. And fourth, and this one matters more than people realize, do I want to spend the next several years professionally attached to this person and this project? Because that's what representation is, right? It's a professional relationship that will last, ideally, your entire writing life. Agents know this. So they're evaluating you, not just your manuscript. So what does all of this mean for you, sitting there with your query letter and your hope and your completely understandable anxiety? It means the first sentence is the most important sentence you will write. Not the most important sentence in your book, but the most important sentence in your query. Because if the first sentence doesn't do its job, the agent never gets to the book. That first sentence needs to answer immediately, compellingly, without any preamble. What is the most interesting thing about this story? So you never start with, I'm writing to query you about my novel. Because they know this. You wrote them a query. Also, don't start with, my book is about a woman who goes on a journey of self-discovery. That describes approximately half of all fiction published in the last decade. The first sentence needs to create a question in the reader's mind that immediately needs to be answered. It needs to make them lean forward. Here's a quick exercise that actually works. Write down the most interesting sentence in your entire query letter. This would be the one that if someone said it to you at a party, you'd say, wait, what? Tell me more. Is that sentence your first sentence? Because if it's not, make it the first one. Move it right now before you do anything else. The rest of your query letter, the plot summary, the comp titles, the author bio, all of it still matters. But none of it matters if you've already lost them, right? At Book Deal Masterclass, this is one of the first things we look at in every single query letter we work on. Not because it's the only thing, but it's because it's the thing that determines whether everything else gets read. Your 60 seconds starts the moment they open the email. Okay, here's the reframe that changes everything. Your query letter is not a summary of your book. It's an argument for why the book deserves to be read by a professional who reads hundreds of books a year. The 60-second rule isn't something to be afraid of. Once you understand it, it's actually clarifying. It tells you exactly what your query needs to do. It tells you where to focus your energy. One great first sentence. One clear concept. One compelling reason they should keep reading. If you want to go deeper on crafting that first sentence, your hook, we have a full video up. Check the link here. And if you're in the middle of building your query packet right now and you want to stop doing it alone, come find us. It's what we're here for. We'll see you on the next one.